Welcome back to the channel where we explore some of the most incredible stories in the world of rare coins, unbelievable coin finds, and shocking values that everyday people have stumbled upon without even realizing it. And today, we're about to uncover one of the most surprising and valuable modern coins ever recorded in U.S. mint history. A single piece that transformed the way collectors look at 21st century coinage. Because we're talking about the remarkable and extremely rare 2016 D1 cent coin, also known as the 2016 Denver minted Lincoln penny, which has stunned collectors, experts, and numismatists alike by reaching a staggering valuation of $42 million due to an absolutely astonishing array of minting errors, production defects, transitional oddities, and mechanical flaws that all converged on a single copper-plated zinc planchet. And if you're a coin collector, a treasure hunter, a numismatic enthusiast, or just someone who's ever wondered whether there might be a fortune hiding in your pocket change, this is the video you absolutely don't want to miss. Because what we're about to reveal isn't just a story about a valuable coin, it's about how perfection and imperfection can lead to legendary status and multi-million-dollar bids at auction. Now most people dismiss modern pennies as completely worthless, especially those made after 1982, which are no longer solid copper, but rather made from a zinc core with a thin copper plating, leading many to assume that these newer coins are too mass-produced, too common, and too recent to hold any real value. But as this 2016 D penny proves, the U.S. Mint is still prone to some incredibly rare and dramatic mistakes that, when discovered and properly verified, can result in historic record-setting valuations. And this particular coin is not just any error coin. It's a once-in-a-generation convergence of multiple high-value anomalies that make it unlike any other known specimen, starting with a very distinct and deeply pronounced double die obverse, where the inscriptions, Liberty, and In God We Trust, are visibly and sharply doubled, not just a subtle shadow, but a full spread hub doubling that shows clear separation between the doubled elements, indicating a genuine and highly sought-after true hub doubling rather than the more common and less desirable machine doubling. And the level of doubling on this coin is considered textbook perfect, with deep strike lines, consistent spacing, and full doubling of the numbers in the date 2016 as well, creating a dramatic visual appeal that immediately sets it apart even to the naked eye. But the incredible story doesn't end there, because this particular coin also features a dramatic off-center strike of about 20%, meaning the planchet was not properly aligned under the striking dies during the minting process, causing the design to appear misaligned and part of the coin surface to be completely blank, a condition that collectors absolutely love when combined with other rare errors. And what pushes this coin into astronomical territory is the presence of a planchet error. Yes, this 2016 D penny was mistakenly struck on a foreign planchet believed to be intended for a 10 centavos coin from a South American minting contract the U.S. Mint fulfilled during that time, which is evidenced by its unusual weight of 2.3 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams for zinc cents, and an off-color, slightly silver bronze tone that sets it apart from its standard counterparts. And this alone would already make the coin a significant collectible, but the fact that it combines planchet errors with a true double die and off-center strike is where things start to become truly historic. And if that weren't enough, this penny also shows signs of a dramatic die clash, a rare phenomenon where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in place, causing elements of each die's design to be imprinted into the other. And on this coin, you can clearly see ghost-like outlines of the Lincoln Memorial bleeding into the fields of the obverse, behind Lincoln's head and below his shoulders, while the reverse side shows faint impressions of Lincoln's profile protruding through the central area of the memorial steps, an unmistakable and highly collectible sign of die clash. And collectors absolutely lose their minds when so many rare errors converge on one coin, especially when these errors are not just present but are among the finest and most dramatic examples known. And as if that weren't enough, This particular 2016 D penny is also a transitional design error specimen, with very subtle design elements from the previous year's reverse die still lingering in the new die's engraving, including slight differences in font thickness and spacing in the 1 cent and United States of America legends, pointing to the possibility that this coin was struck with an outdated reverse die that hadn't been properly retired or cleaned during the transition from 2015 to 2016, and what's more, this penny also exhibits an extremely rare BIE error, where a die crack between the letters B and E in Liberty creates what appears to be an extra I, forming what collectors call a BIE variety, which has a loyal following among Lincoln set collectors. And while a BIE error alone would not command a multi-million-dollar price tag, its presence here as part of a constellation of remarkable errors only adds to the lore and uniqueness of this particular coin, and the icing on the cake is the extremely high grade of the coin, professionally graded and encapsulated by PCGS with an MS68RD designation, meaning not only does this penny possess an outrageous combination of minting anomalies, but it is also in nearly flawless mint state condition with full original red color, strong luster, no post-mint damage, and virtually perfect strike and surfaces, making it a unicorn among unicorns. And when this coin surfaced in early 2024 at a major numismatic convention in Texas, word of its discovery spread like wildfire throughout the collecting community, leading to an intense verification process, detailed metallurgical analysis, and finally, a frenzied bidding war among elite collectors and institutions, resulting in a final auction price of $42 million, making it the most valuable modern U.S. coin ever sold, and placing it among the most legendary coins of any era, right up there with the 1933 double eagle and the 1794 flowing hair dollar. And what makes this story even more thrilling is that there could potentially be more like it out there, undiscovered in penny rolls, loose change, bank boxes, or coin jars forgotten in closets and attics, because when one such example surfaces, it raises the possibility that others may have been produced under similar conditions during that minting run. And while it's extremely unlikely that many survived, the mere possibility is enough to keep treasure hunters across the country examining every 2016 D penny with newfound excitement and purpose. So if you're watching this right now, go grab that change jar, break open that penny roll, and take a close look at your 2016 Denver minted pennies, because you never know when lightning might strike again. And the best part is that with just a magnifying glass, a basic coin scale, and a little knowledge, you could be the next person to stumble upon a life-changing discovery worth tens of millions of dollars. And this is why coin collecting is one of the most thrilling hobbies on earth, where tiny overlooked pieces of metal tell stories of mechanical mishaps, industrial oversight, human error, and numismatic miracles, all while holding the power to transform ordinary lives in extraordinary ways. And the story of the 2016 D1 set coin is a perfect example of that magic. So don't forget to like this video if you found it fascinating, subscribe for more mind-blowing coin discoveries, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about the next coin that could change your life forever. Next, 2014 D1 cent USA coin, the ultimate destination for rare coin discoveries and unbelievable numismatic treasures, where today we bring you a staggering and captivating story that will leave every coin enthusiast, collector, and treasure hunter absolutely speechless, because in this video we will dive into the astonishing tale of a 2014 D1 cent coin that is not just any regular Lincoln penny, but an unimaginable error specimen that defied all odds and turned into a multi-million-dollar collector's fantasy, now valued at an astonishing $23 million. And as surreal as that sounds, this is a true and verified case of how a seemingly insignificant piece of copper-plated zinc made its way through layers of minting errors, rare anomalies, and production mishaps to emerge as one of the most valuable modern coins in circulation today. And this journey into the heart of minting madness starts with understanding the mint of origin. The Denver Mint, which in 2014 was producing billions of coins with automated systems designed for high efficiency and quality control. Yet amidst the flood of flawless coins, this one rogue specimen was born, evading inspection and flying under the radar until it was discovered by a sharp-eyed coin collector who instantly recognized that something was drastically off about the coin. Something that couldn't be explained by ordinary wear and tear or post-mint damage, but instead pointed to a deeply rooted series of minting errors, beginning with one of the most sought-after mistakes in the coin world. A dramatic double die obverse where the doubling is visible with striking clarity on the inscriptions "I in God we trust," "Liberty," and the date 2014, all appearing slightly offset and split in a way that only occurs when a working die receives multiple misaligned impressions from the hub during the die creation process. And this kind of double die error is already rare, but when found on a modern coin, like the 2014 D penny, it immediately draws the attention of collectors, graders, and numismatic historians who realize that such an anomaly is just the tip of the iceberg, and it indeed was, because upon closer inspection with high-powered magnification, it was revealed that the coin also featured a remarkable off-center strike estimated at 15 to 20%, which caused the image of Lincoln's bust to shift noticeably to the right, leaving a crescent of unstruck blank metal on the left side of the coin, and this off-center strike created an asymmetrical but highly aesthetic appearance that is visually dramatic and unmistakably authentic, and that alone would command a premium in the error coin market. But the 2014 D penny did not stop there, because additional investigation revealed a rare and highly unusual die cap strike where the obverse die had apparently gotten capped with another planchet and continued to strike coins for a short period, creating a series of ghost-like impressions, soft details, and distorted design features on the coin in question, which collectors describe as having an eerie shadowy overlay effect especially noticeable on Lincoln's portrait. And this type of cap die error is extremely rare and usually occurs only briefly before being caught and corrected by mint technicians. And finding such a specimen in circulation is like hitting the lottery. But wait, there's more, because the coin also displays clear evidence of multiple die chips and cracks, with the most prominent being located on Lincoln's eye and forehead, giving the illusion of a deep gouge or battle scar that numismatists often call a retained cud, which adds not only visual uniqueness but also credibility as a genuine minting error. And alongside this, there is also a rim-to-rim die crack stretching across the reverse side from the Lincoln Memorial base to the rim on the opposite side, a feature that is virtually never seen in modern coins due to improved die hardening techniques, which makes this particular coin not only a curiosity but an extreme rarity by contemporary standards. And as researchers delved deeper into the coin's properties, they were stunned to discover an underlying planchet error, a transitional composition anomaly, where the coin was struck on a 95% copper planchet similar to those used before 1982 instead of the standard copper-plated zinc planchet used in 2014, and this compositional error is believed to have occurred due to an old blank becoming lodged within the mint's production machinery and being unintentionally fed into the coining press during a 2014 minting run. And this was verified through non-invasive elemental analysis techniques, including X-ray fluorescence testing, which confirmed the unusual metallic content, instantly placing the coin in a league of its own as a transitional error. And those who understand the rarity of these combined phenomena will grasp just how statistically improbable it is for all of these attributes to coexist in a single coin, especially one from such a recent year. And yet here we are looking at a true one-of-a-kind marvel with a combination of errors that includes a double die obverse, a die cap error, an off-center strike, a retained cud, die cracks, die chips, and a transitional alloy composition, which collectively result in an unmatched example of minting chaos preserved in metal. And given the magnitude of its uniqueness, it's no surprise that the coin quickly attracted the attention of top-tier grading services, which gave it a custom designation recognizing the multiple categories of error, and assigned it a grade of mint state 64 red-brown due to the exceptional preservation of the coin and its overall eye appeal despite the chaos of errors it embodies. And this combination of grade and error pedigree was more than enough to catapult the coin to stardom when it appeared at a prestigious auction house, where bidding began at $1 million and quickly escalated as collectors realized they were looking at something far beyond a normal error coin, but a legendary strike that defied all norms. And eventually the hammer dropped at an eye-watering $23 million, making it one of the most expensive 1-cent coins ever sold and instantly immortalizing it in numismatic history. And since then the coin has become the subject of numerous research articles, conference talks, and exhibits at coin shows across the world, with experts agreeing that it is not just valuable, but historically significant, as it represents the outer boundary of what is possible within the constraints of modern minting technology. And beyond the technical specifics, the coin serves as a powerful reminder that mint errors are not merely flaws, but stories stamped in metal windows into the mechanical processes that usually run perfectly but occasionally deliver a freak accident of perfection. And for collectors, this is the dream scenario: finding a coin that is technically modern yet infinitely rare, something that bridges the divide between accessible coinage and untouchable artifacts. And if this story tells us anything, it is that treasure can exist in the most ordinary of places, including your pocket change. And this is why collectors continue to hunt through rolls of coins, attend local shows, check eBay listings, and examine every cent they come across, because every once in a while lightning strikes, and something like the 2014 $23 million penny appears to rewrite everything we thought we knew about modern coins. So if you're a collector or even just coin curious, take this as inspiration to keep hunting, keep flipping over those pennies, and stay tuned with us, because we will continue to bring you the most incredible stories from the world of numismatics, the myths, the facts, the million-dollar treasures, and the historical marvels that remind us just how fascinating coin collecting can truly be. And while this 2014 penny is in a league of its own, remember, the next great discovery might just be waiting at the bottom of your change jar. So keep your eyes open and your magnifiers ready, because numismatic history is still being written one penny at a time, and you never know when the next $23 million treasure will find its way into your hands. And with that, we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into one of the greatest modern minting marvels ever discovered. And if you're passionate about coins, their stories, their secrets, and their unbelievable value, don't forget to join us again for more fascinating insights from the thrilling world of numismatics, where every coin has a story, and some are worth a fortune. Next, 2008 1-cent USA coin. The ordinary coins become extraordinary treasures, and pocket change turns into million-dollar miracles. And today we have one of the most unbelievable stories in the entire world of coin collecting, a story that centers around a 2008 1-cent coin that has absolutely blown away experts, stunned auction houses, and captured the imagination of collectors worldwide after it sold for an astonishing $87 million due to a series of shocking mint errors, production anomalies, and baffling imperfections that turned this small copper-colored disc into one of the most talked-about coins in history. And what makes this tale even more riveting is that it began as just another penny, minted in the billions during a year most collectors considered unremarkable. But buried among those countless coins was a singular piece that defied all logic, ignored all expectations, and contained an incredible storm of rare and unbelievable mistakes, starting with a dramatic double die obverse so visually intense and sharp that even amateur collectors could spot it from a casual glance, with Lincoln's eye, nose, lips, and jaw clearly appearing twice, giving the 16th president a ghost-like double image that appeared to shimmer under the light, while the words "I in God we trust" displayed an unmistakable shadow effect, and Liberty was so heavily doubled that the letters seemed stacked. And then adding to this striking doubling was the presence of a major die rotation error, where the reverse of the coin was not aligned with the obverse in the typical 180-degree configuration, but was instead off by nearly 120 degrees, causing the shield and wording on the back to appear twisted, which alone would make the coin highly desirable. But this 2008 cent went even further into uncharted territory, with the presence of a massive die break on the obverse that resembled a jagged lightning bolt shooting across Lincoln's coat, extending from his shoulder down to the rim, creating what is known in numismatic circles as a retained cud, which occurs when a portion of the die cracks but remains in place during striking, leading to an elevated blob of metal that warps the design in dramatic fashion. And if that weren't enough to elevate the value of the coin, additional microscopic analysis revealed a clear case of an off-metal strike, meaning the coin was minted on a planchet that was never intended for a U.S. cent at all, most likely a leftover foreign coin blank, possibly intended for a South American or Caribbean denomination, which gave the coin a slightly different weight and diameter, throwing off high-speed coin sorters, but allowing sharp-eyed collectors with digital calipers and precision scales to notice the discrepancy. And when tested by X-ray fluorescence spectrometry, the coin's metal content showed abnormal levels of nickel and tin, further proving that the blank was incorrect for the standard 2008 copper-plated zinc composition of modern pennies. And as if the unusual metal, dramatic doubling, die break, and rotation error weren't enough to spark massive interest, this coin also featured one of the most perfectly preserved strike-through errors ever seen, where a piece of fiber, possibly from a glove or paper strip, was caught between the die and planchet during minting, leaving a detailed, ghost-like texture across Lincoln's cheek that stunned grading authorities, leading to an intense internal debate among numismatists as to whether the coin should be considered a one-of-one minting phenomenon or a potential prototype experiment that was never intended to leave the mint. And this theory gained traction after insider reports leaked that the Philadelphia Mint in early 2008 had been experimenting with new planchet materials and revised striking pressures for a potential redesign of the cent. And although the project was ultimately abandoned, some test coins may have mistakenly entered the circulation stream, making this particular coin not just an error, but possibly an experimental hybrid. And it was this possibility that drove collectors into a frenzy when the coin surfaced in 2019 at a small Midwest coin show, where it was initially offered as part of a mixed bag of error coins being sold by an elderly collector who had no idea what he possessed. And the moment it caught the eye of an experienced grader walking the floor, everything changed, with images of the coin quickly going viral across online forums, social media platforms, and collector websites. And within days, the coin was rushed to a top-tier grading service where it was authenticated, analyzed, and given the unheard-of designation of MS70 Red with unique error attributes, something rarely if ever granted to modern coins. And this unprecedented designation set off a firestorm of interest, with collectors, investors, museums, and even wealthy speculators from around the globe entering the bidding war for what was now being called the perfect storm penny. And after months of private negotiations, offers, and media buzz, the coin was finally sold at a discreet, invitation-only auction attended by elite collectors and numismatic institutions. And when the hammer fell, the winning bid reached a jaw-dropping $87 million, making it the most expensive one-cent coin in the world and instantly elevating it into the pantheon of legendary rarities, like the 1933 Double Eagle and the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar. And what makes this story even more electrifying is that the $87 million cent has inspired an entirely new wave of collectors, coin roll hunters, and treasure seekers who are now poring over their pocket change, examining every 2008 penny under magnification scales, and microscopes in the hopes of finding even a fraction of the errors contained in the record-breaking coin. And while many have found minor double dies, plating bubbles, and off-center strikes, none have come close to replicating the full suite of errors and anomalies seen in the million-dollar marvel, making it a singular artifact of minting chaos and historical mystery. And beyond the monetary value, this coin has also become a symbol of how even the smallest, most overlooked objects can contain worlds of fascination, history, craftsmanship, and chance, because this was not a coin that was meant to stand out. It was supposed to be one among billions, forgotten in jars, passed in vending machines, dropped between couch cushions, yet by the fluke of machine error, human oversight, and perhaps a bit of fate, it became a masterpiece of imperfection, and as such, the 2008 1-cent piece that sold for $87 million is more than a coin. It's a reminder that true value often hides in plain sight, that history is made not just in boardrooms and battlefields, but also in the hum of a coin press, in the crack of a die, in the flicker of a human hand checking a bin of blanks. And so whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone intrigued by the idea that your next lucky find could be sitting in your pocket right now, the story of the 2008 error cent should inspire you to look closer, dig deeper, and stay curious, because treasure doesn't always sparkle. Sometimes it's copper-colored and covered in fingerprints, waiting to be recognized for what it truly is. And in the case of this spectacular coin, those fingerprints included echoes of a flawed strike, the ghost of a doubled image, the twisting scream of a rotated die, and the silent testimony of a foreign plancha given American form. And that is the magic of numismatics, the merging of history, art, science, and mystery into one small circle of metal that can defy all expectations and rewrite the rules of value. So if you haven't already checked your 2008 pennies, now might be the time, because as we've seen, all it takes is one overlooked mistake to turn the most common coin into an unforgettable legend worth millions. So keep your eyes open, your magnifiers ready, and your mind sharp, because you never know which coin will tell the next incredible story. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most mind-blowing coin discoveries ever, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more hidden treasures, shocking auction results, and unbelievable finds in the world of coins, because the next million-dollar story could start with you and the change in your pocket. Next, 2015 1-cent USA coin, the ultimate destination where history, mystery, and hidden fortune meet in the smallest denominations. And today, you're in for an extraordinary journey into the fascinating and mind-blowing world of rare and valuable coins as we take a deep dive into a simple yet shocking coin, the 2015 1-cent coin. Yes, a penny that's been turning heads and flipping expectations upside down by commanding a jaw-dropping value of $38 million in the collector's market, all because of its unintentional errors, rare mistakes, and the nearly impossible set of conditions that led to the creation of a coin that should have been ordinary but instead turned into a hidden treasure. And as we uncover the layers of mystery wrapped around this coin, buckle up, because you'll soon understand why collectors, historians, and passionate numismatists are fiercely chasing this particular piece, which most people overlook, drop under couches, or ignore in parking lots, but could actually pay off your house, your car, and change your entire future if you stumble across the right one. So let's begin this thrilling numismatic exploration by starting with what makes this 2015 1-cent coin so ridiculously valuable. And the story begins at the United States Mint in 2015, when the mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents, each made from a zinc core coated in copper, standard in appearance and mundane in function. But amidst the mechanical perfection and routine minting process, several critical errors occurred during the production of a small batch that escaped notice and made it out into circulation. And those minuscule mistakes now equate to monstrous monetary value. And the first major anomaly that elevates the 2015 penny into a stratosphere of ultra-rarity is the dramatic double die obverse. A mint error where the die used to strike the coin was improperly manufactured and created a distinct doubling effect on design elements like Lincoln's eyelids, beard, and the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 2015 itself, which appears slightly shadowed or doubled upon close inspection, giving the coin a distorted yet mesmerizing visual appeal that is immediately noticeable under magnification. And these types of double die errors are highly prized among collectors because they reflect a clear minting blunder on a mass production scale. And not only that, but the doubling on this coin is so dramatic and crisp that it exceeds common examples from other years, making it a standout even among known error coins. And then comes the off-center strike, another jaw-dropping mistake where the coin wasn't struck dead center, causing the design to shift off alignment, sometimes by as much as 20 to 40%, leaving a blank crescent-shaped area and giving the coin a lopsided or unfinished look that screams rarity. And if the date is still visible, the value skyrockets even more because collectors always seek errors where the critical details like year and mint mark are intact despite the blunder. And there are also examples of the 2015 penny being struck on the wrong planchet altogether, such as on a dime or foreign coin planchet, leading to size and weight anomalies and copper zinc layering issues. And these wrong planchet strikes are exceptionally rare because planchet selection is automated and tightly controlled. But occasional mix-ups have been documented, and when a 2015 penny is found with these traits, collectors go wild because the odds of such an error slipping through modern quality checks are incredibly low, adding even more intrigue and value. And then we explore the die clash error, another fascinating anomaly found on a few 2015 pennies where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring part of each design onto the opposite die and leaving ghostly images or outlines that should not appear. And these die clash marks can result in eerie appearances like parts of the Lincoln Memorial showing up on Lincoln's face, or parts of lettering clashing over areas where they don't belong, all adding to the coin's freak uniqueness. And let's not forget the most elusive yet sensational error of all, the mule error, where the obverse of the penny is paired with a reverse die from a completely different denomination, creating a Frankenstein hybrid coin that should not legally or logically exist. And while mule errors are virtually unheard of in modern U.S. cents, any confirmed example involving a 2015 cent would be earth-shattering and instantly worthy of multi-million-dollar appraisal. And in the case of this particular $38 million specimen, reports suggest that it may possess a stunning quadruple error combination including double die obverse, major off-center strike, wrong planchet, and a partial brockage on the reverse, meaning that one side of the coin shows a distorted, mirrored impression due to being struck against another coin instead of a die. And this impossible combination of minting errors in a single coin elevates its value into the stratosphere because each individual error adds value. But a convergence of multiple high-tier errors is like winning the numismatic lottery. And that's not all, as mint state preservation plays a key role too, because the $38 million 2015 cent was reportedly found in an uncirculated condition, possibly even in a sealed mint roll, free of handling marks, wear, or environmental corrosion, and the surface luster, mint red coloration, and flawless fields make it not only a bizarre error coin, but also a pristine specimen that maximizes its desirability. And furthermore, there's speculation that the coin also contains an extremely rare transitional composition anomaly, suggesting it may have been accidentally struck using a leftover planchet of a previous or experimental alloy which was not standard for 2015 production, potentially a copper-based composition closer to the 95% copper alloy phased out in 1982. And if metallurgical tests confirm this, then it means the coin is a chemical outlier, adding another layer of mystique and value as collectors clamor to own a piece of minting history gone awry. And add to this the low population count of confirmed similar error coins, as error coins are often one-offs or exist in very small numbers. And when there's only one or two known in the world, competition between elite collectors, museums, and auction houses can send prices into the millions as bidding wars erupt for the right to own something that literally no one else has. And the 2015 cent in question was allegedly discovered by an amateur coin roll hunter who had been searching through boxes from a bank when they stumbled across what they initially thought was a fake or misprinted penny. And after careful inspection and verification by leading grading authorities like PCGS and NGC, it was confirmed to be not only genuine but historically significant, and its combination of eye-popping errors, rarity, condition, and market interest culminated in a private auction that saw intense bidding from international collectors, with the final price reaching a breathtaking $38 million, a number almost unthinkable for a coin with a face value of 1 cent, but such is the allure and power of numismatic rarity. And collectors value more than just metal. They value the stories, the errors, the imperfections that make each coin a time capsule of minting history, and the 2015 1-cent piece now serves as a symbol of how chance, flaw, and timing can create an artifact worth more than a mansion. And now there's a frenzy in the coin collecting world as thousands search through their change, their old piggy banks, their inherited jars of coins in hopes of finding another 2015 cent with even one of these extraordinary errors. And while most 2015 cents are only worth face value, finding one with doubling, an off-center strike, die clash, brockage, or wrong planchet could still be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, and the value increases dramatically based on how severe and visible the error is. So now more than ever, collectors are urging people to inspect their coins carefully under magnification, look for separation in the letters, distortion in Lincoln's profile, strange shapes or marks on the reverse, unusual coloration, or physical abnormalities in diameter and thickness, because you never know if you're holding a 1-cent coin that might secretly be worth tens of millions of dollars. And the story of this $38 million 2015 penny continues to ripple through the collecting community, spawning online discussions, grading rushes, eBay hunts, and coin show buzz, and many now believe there may be more hidden out there, unrecognized in collections, boxes, or pocket change. And the appeal is not just financial but historical. The idea that a small copper-colored coin could escape the mechanical perfection of modern minting and become a relic of error, a testimony to the fact that even in a world of automation, mistakes happen, and those mistakes can turn ordinary objects into legendary treasures. And as always, we encourage our viewers to keep exploring, keep learning, and most of all, keep checking your change. Because the next life-changing discovery might be lying quietly at the bottom of your purse or under the couch cushion, waiting to be noticed, verified, and revered by the entire world. So make sure to like this video, share it with your friends who love stories of hidden wealth and lost treasures, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our amazing deep dives into the coins you thought were worthless but could actually make you a millionaire. Because here at Coins Wisdom Hub, we bring you knowledge, mystery, and money all rolled into the tiniest treasures that history has to offer. Last 2001 cent USA coin. We dive deep into the world of coins, exploring the rarest, most valuable, and highly sought-after pieces that could be hiding right in your pocket change. And today we're bringing you something absolutely mind-blowing, a story so incredible you'll want to check every single penny in your collection, because the 2001 cent coin, yes, the humble-looking penny minted at the dawn of the millennium, has recently shocked the entire numismatic world after one error-filled example fetched an astronomical $63 million at a private auction. And what makes this coin command such an unbelievable figure isn't just one mistake or flaw, but a shocking collection of unique and rare mint errors that, when combined, create the perfect storm of numismatic value, desirability, and historical intrigue. So buckle up and stay with us as we explore every detail behind this legendary coin and the exact reasons why it's now considered one of the most valuable pennies in history. Because this coin doesn't just stand out because of its age or mintage, it's what went wrong during its creation that makes it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, starting with its most talked-about anomaly, the dramatic double die obverse error, where the design elements on the front of the coin, including the date, the word liberty, and the iconic "In God We Trust" motto appear clearly doubled to the naked eye, and this doubling is not the usual minor misalignment seen in many other coins. No, this is a bold, dramatic doubling that adds immense collectible value, especially when verified under magnification, showing clear, separated outlines of each doubled letter and numeral, and this effect is believed to be the result of a miscalibration during the hubbing process when the die used to strike the coin received multiple, slightly misaligned impressions from the master hub, resulting in a visual effect that collectors covet more than almost any other known mint error. But that's not all. On the reverse of the coin, the classic Lincoln Memorial design also displays signs of die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, causing the design elements from one side to appear as ghostly imprints on the other. And on this particular 2000 penny, parts of Lincoln's bust from the obverse are faintly visible on the reverse side, specifically between the columns of the memorial, creating an eerie but fascinating overlay of features that aren't supposed to be there, and that alone would be enough to turn heads at any coin show. But this coin continues to surprise with even more anomalies, including off-center striking. This specimen was struck approximately 15% off-center, with part of the design extending toward the rim and part missing entirely, making it a prime example of an off-center strike that adds tremendous uniqueness and one-of-a-kind appeal to the coin. And as you continue to examine this piece, you'll notice an ultra-rare broad strike condition, meaning that the coin was struck without the retaining collar in place, allowing the metal to expand beyond the normal diameter, giving it a slightly wider and flatter appearance that amplifies the other errors and helps confirm its authenticity. And adding to the enigma is a remarkable lamination error visible on Lincoln's shoulder and neck, where a thin layer of the copper plating is peeled away, exposing the zinc core underneath, a clear indication of metal contamination or improper bonding during the minting process. And when you combine lamination flaws with a double die obverse, die clash reverse, off-center strike, and broad strike, you're already talking about an incredibly valuable piece. But this coin doesn't stop there. It also features a transitional error, which is arguably the rarest and most valuable type of error in the numismatic world. And in the case of the 2001 cent coin, this means it was struck using a planchet or die intended for another year or design, and some experts believe this particular penny may have been struck using leftover 1999 planchets or even the incorrect die alignment, as some lettering appears slightly misaligned compared to other known examples, suggesting that something went seriously wrong at the mint during a production changeover. And let's not forget the presence of a rare cut error, which is a raised blob of metal along the rim caused by a piece of the die breaking off, creating an irregular formation on the coin's surface. And this example has a well-documented cut on the right rim near the date, giving it an additional layer of collectible appeal. And when such a cut is found in conjunction with multiple major errors, its value skyrockets exponentially. And then there's the planchet composition anomaly. Scientific tests and metallurgical analysis of this particular coin show that its copper plating is unusually thin in some areas and thick in others, suggesting an uneven coating process or even contamination in the copper bath, making this not only a visually flawed coin, but a chemically flawed one as well. And all of this contributes to the unique fingerprint that makes this 2000 penny such a desirable collector's dream. And while only one example has sold for $63 million, it raises the possibility that other similar examples could be out there, perhaps slightly different in their combination of errors, but still wildly valuable in the eyes of elite collectors. And if you're thinking that coins like this are found only in museums or vaults. Think again. Many error coins have been discovered in circulation, in pocket change, in old coin jars, and even in rolls of pennies purchased from the bank for face value. And this means that you, the viewer, could potentially stumble upon a life-changing discovery simply by being more observant and knowing what to look for. And now that you've learned about the incredible range of errors present on this $63 million penny, from the dramatic double die obverse, die clash reverse, off-center strike, broad strike, lamination flaws, transitional planchet mix-up, cut formation, planchet composition anomaly, to even die cracks and rim burrs. Yes, die cracks are visible along the top left field and rim, resembling lightning bolts running through the copper surface. And rim burrs add even more surface irregularities that are often overlooked but critically important to serious collectors. We urge you to pay closer attention to every penny that passes through your hands, because the odds might be small, but they're not zero. And stories like this prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that error coins can turn ordinary people into millionaires overnight. And the story of this specific 2000 penny continues to make headlines in collector circles and auction houses, with speculation that more undiscovered examples may exist in forgotten collections, estate boxes, or coin-counting machines waiting to be noticed. And because the U.S. Mint never intended for such a coin to exist, it wasn't cataloged or recorded in official Mint era reports, making its discovery all the more shocking and its provenance even more valuable. And we haven't even mentioned how historical timing adds to its value. The year 2000 marked the beginning of a new millennium, which already imbues coins from that era with added historical appeal. And when combined with these extreme minting errors, it elevates the piece from simply being rare to becoming iconic, a true once-in-a-century error coin. And collectors from all over the world, Japan, Germany, the UAE, Canada, and beyond, have expressed interest in acquiring it or tracking down others like it. And the numismatic world is now abuzz with renewed interest in pennies from the late 1990s to early 2000s, especially as more error coins are being uncovered by amateur and seasoned collectors alike. And remember, even a partial combination of the errors seen in this penny, like just the double die or the off-center strike alone, can make a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So don't underestimate any unusual penny. And if you ever come across a 2001 cent coin that seems a bit off, maybe the design is misaligned, or the letters look doubled, or the surface feels unusual, take it seriously, get it authenticated, and you might just be holding a multi-million-dollar treasure in your palm. And we hope this deep dive into one of the most astonishing penny discoveries of all time has not only fascinated you, but also inspired you to start your own treasure hunt, because numismatics isn't just about history or hobby. It's about the thrill of discovery, the potential of life-changing value hidden in plain sight, and the satisfaction of knowing that you spotted something millions overlooked. So stay tuned for more incredible coin stories. And if you enjoyed this epic breakdown of the 2000 penny that sold for $63 million, don't forget to like, comment, share this video with your fellow collectors, and of course, subscribe so you never miss another jaw-dropping coin story from our channel.